happens is often there are these things we call them circles. And they would get in these groups in the front of kind of near the stage area. And they would get in these groups, and often the leaders would be in these groups. And this is where serious conversations occurred. But really, it's abusive conversations occurred.
This is where the reality of what was believed and what was said in this organization was said and done. Yeah. Everything that you see on the organization's websites and streams is what they want you to see. But then the reality of what happens and what goes on there is what happened in those circles.
After you sing praise songs, after you read the Bible, after you... Lawrence wants to get in here.
This is our dog, Lawrence.
After you sing praise songs, after you read the Bible, after you're praising the Lord, you are then confronted with something you didn't even know you did. Something that you didn't realize you had that attitude. You didn't realize that. And this is not the first time that this occurred a year ago. But this was one of the last times it would occur. To us. And...
because it's still occurring, we believe.
That is our fear. Because the patterns of abusers, the abusers don't just stop abusing. They continue, and they have to get more supply. And so that is a concern that we have. But so I'm there, and I know something is going on because there's this circle happening. Jonathan's in this circle. All of the leaders are in this circle except one. One left prior to it getting more heated. I believe this individual knew that it was going to get heated and did not want to see it take place. Because they have a problem with the fact that it gets this way.
But they won't speak up.
But they're not going to speak up about it. So this leader left prior to it. And then you hear all the ladies are kind of like in the middle chair section. And I know that Jonathan is being talked to. I know that they're upset with Jonathan. And I hear, damn you. I hear it. I hear it plain as day. And I'm like, what in the world? And then everybody else is kind of acting like it's not happening. So there's kind of like they're like denying that it's happening because it's so painful, it's so wrong. Either they believe it's so painful or wrong, or they could believe that it's totally okay, that he deserves that behavior, that is normal. Because to be quite frank with you, what happened a year ago had happened, I would say countless times, hundreds of times prior. It's more just that you have to realize that that's not okay. That's happening.
You grow up in it and you don't
realize
realize
in that time, I knew it was not okay because I had been aware of things for quite a while, but I had chosen to stay because I wanted to be with Jonathan. And I knew it wasn't right. So I'm there. It's very awkward. I don't know if I'm going to be talked to about things. I don't know if I'm going to also get in trouble. I am stuck there because I didn't drive separately. Sometimes I would drive separately so I would leave faster because I didn't want to be around at the end of it because it was so tense. There's a palpable tense air when you walk in. And so he's damning him. He's shaming him. It's visible to everybody in there. And we've gotten used to just being like, oh, well, that's normal behavior. Like, it's happened to us. And we're like, we gotta improve our behavior. We gotta repent. We gotta change our actions. We gotta do that. And you tend to internalize it, and you tend to take the blame, and you tend to think, well, maybe something's really wrong with me.
Because these people are people that remember, we've grown up with. They're like representatives of God. They're the person that is speaking to you from God, that what they say means that God is saying it. And so the weight of what they say can dictate where you stand before God, where
Yeah.
we stood before God, which that's what we believe. That's how
And
we were
they
growing
would
up.
say, but they would say no, nothing. They would say the opposite. They would say, well, all that matters is you and God. All that matters is your position before God. And they would say the truth, and that is true. All that matters is your position before God. All that matters is you and God. However, they would still interject themselves and determine
Your position.
your position. So they
Yeah.
would say the truth and then do the opposite. So there's a lot of confusion that would occur. So
About a month later, I was able to speak with my dad about that night. And I told him, what the leader had told me. And my dad was standing right next to the leader. He was in that conversation. And when I said, the leader said, "Damn you," to me, my dad was like, "What?" Like, the blindness for people in this organization is so great. Like, he doesn't even remember. It's like the leader can do things and say things, and it's because of who he is that it just goes right over people's heads. They don't even see it. So probably some of the ladies, it wasn't even phasing them because they just knew this leader was saying it, so it must be right.
yeah, and also like they are powerless to do
Anything
about it.
Anything. Yeah.
And so we get through it, and then that night I was like, this isn't okay. This behavior is not okay. You need to talk to them about that. You need to talk to them about that behavior.
So I did that one of those next days, and we'll go into that more detail in another video, because this was the beginning of the end for us in that organization. Over the next 18 days led to a lot of other bad things, and it got a lot worse. But the next day I did tell the leader, the pastor, I said, I did not like when you said "damn you," and all he did was double down on it, saying it was good that I felt bad for it whenever he said that. No apology. No, you're right, that was wrong. I should not have done none of that. He doubled down with it and said that it was a good thing. So it just was not a good situation.
Well, it was abuse. It was an abusive situation. But the reason why we wanted to talk with y'all about it today was because tonight marks a year since that abuse occurred.
Yep.
We think this abuse occurred strategically. I believe it could have occurred strategically because this was after Jonathan was no longer providing for the church. This is after Jonathan was establishing boundaries and saying, hey, I'm not going to keep giving.
And being the only one.
To give. And I'm not going to be the only one selling candy. And I'm not going to be the only one.
And I'm not responsible for the provision of every single one of your families. It's like the men in those families were putting the responsibility of their provision for their family onto me. Mm-hmm. And using the Bible to back that up.
Mm-hmm. That was happening for the
years.
Entirety of our marriage. It was happening for even prior to us being married. It was happening to Jonathan. The financial abuse was severe. The spiritual abuse was severe. And so...
we want to take these next few weeks and share with you more and more of what happened through August 11th and all of the things that led to us leaving that organization. Not just to be able to share it, because we do want to share it and get it out there, but we also want to share it to be able to help anybody who might be in similar situations so that they can see maybe that's happening to you right now. You're in that same situation. You see something similar to what we're expressing, what we're talking about. So maybe you can get out of that situation like we did. Also, there are several people still in that organization that we want to be able to tell the truth to. We are no longer able to talk to anybody in there. They've cut off communication with us. I'm no longer able to talk to my dad. I'm no longer able to talk to many people in there. And we just want them to hear the true story of what happened. And we just want you to know it so that you're not just hearing one side of the story.
And also, I know how it is where, like, you've learned that that's the behavior that we're describing. Maybe like, well, what's the problem with that? There's nothing wrong with that behavior. If you did something wrong, then you deserve that. If you've done that, then you deserve it. And that's just not true. That's
Not
actually abuse. Like, and you've actually endured a lot of abuse, and actually you're still enduring abuse. And when you're able to actually call it what it is, name it what it is. So, like, what happened, I think it's important to provide psychological context so that you can name that. You can say, hey, that's gaslighting. So what happened with this particular situation with Jonathan is he was being gaslit, and he was being, where this leader was saying that you lied to me when he didn't lie to him. That's gaslighting. It's shaming when he damned him. It's shaming when he did it in front of everyone. So it's belittling. And so it's important to kind of name it what it is. Name it what it is. And just because individuals may have titles doesn't even mean biblically that they're allowed to do that. But definitely not. Definitely not.
So thank you for taking the time to watch our first video of hopefully many about our story, as well as just things that we enjoy, things that we like to do. You'll be able to see more about us and kind of come along for the ride. So thank you, and we will talk to you soon.